Yeah, so in this question, we're given a schematic diagram showing 12 rectangular houses, and then some data is given. So there are columns, there are blocks, there are two blocks, XX and YY, then there are columns, and then there are rows. So in all, so you have three columns per block, ABC in XS, DEF and YY, and rows are row 1 and row 2. Okay, and then there are two rows. One is, this is one row which is passing right, and then right from in front of all the block, both the blocks, one is from in between the two blocks. Okay, some of the houses are occupied, the remaining ones are vacant and are the only ones available for sale. The road agency value of a house is a number of its sides adjacent to a road. Okay, so it says agency value. For example, the road agency values of C2 is 2. That means these are the two roads. Okay, and F2, where is F2? This is F2. Okay, so this is the road, this is not a road. So, okay, this is the road, this is 1. So F2 is 1, and B1 is here, that is 0. Okay. The neighbor count of a house is a number of sides of that house adjacent to an occupied house. For example, E1, C1, E1, E1 can have, so E1 can have 1, 2, and 3 neighbor counts. Maximum neighbor count could be 3. So it's the number of occupied houses, not vacant houses, occupied houses. And C1 can have a maximum of this. So B1 and C2 can be 2. Okay. The base price of a vacant house is rupees 10. Okay. And if the house does not have a parking space, so it's 10 if the house doesn't have a, and 12. So that means there are 2 plus 2 for parking. So you can have a base price of 10 or a base price of 12. So you can have 10 or 12, depending whether it has parking or not. Then road agency value, the one that we calculate, that can get added to it. So it's given as something like, so this would be the base price plus 5 into the road agency value. Now road agency value could be a maximum of, could be 0, it could be 1, or it could be 2, and it can be actually found out from the location of the house. Plus it will be 3 times the neighbor count. Now neighbor count could be a maximum of 3, depending on how many are occupied, and it could be 0 also if none of the houses is this thing. Okay, so maximum could be 3 and it could be 0. All right, so it says the maximum quoted price of a house in block XS is 24 lakhs. So how do I get 24 lakhs? So in block XX, so these are the block XS houses, and it's 24. So to get 24, the 24 is a multiple of 3, which means neighborhood count, the what I'll get from the price on is again a multiple of 3. So I need to get a multiple of 3 in the rest of the place. So this could be either, so I can get a multiple of 3 by 10 plus 5, or this would be 12. For this to be 12, I need 4, so it's not possible. So it will not be 12, so it's 10. So it doesn't have parking, it has 10. And it should have 1 as this thing, and it should have, so 1 is the this thing, plus it should have 3 into 3. So this is the only way to make 24. So I need 9 here. So this is how I get 24. So I need something which will have 1 road agency. So this is B2. So B2 is occupied. So B2 no, is not occupied, is the one which has 24 value, which means the other 3 are occupied. So this is occupied, 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 and occupied, and only that is how I will get the this thing value. So B2 is the one which is occupied. Okay. So this is occupied. This is okay. So I get this as this thing. So B2 is 24. The minimum quoted price of a house in block YY is 15 lakhs. And one such house in column E, one such house is, so one of these is 15 lakhs. One of these is 15. Either this is 15 lakhs or this is 15 lakhs. So how do I get 15 lakhs? I get 15 lakhs. Okay. So this has road agency value. So it doesn't have parking. So it will be 10 plus 5. So this could be 10 plus 5. This could be 10 plus 5. So it doesn't have parking. So it will be 10 plus 5. If both of them are vacant, so it can be 15. Can this be 15? Yeah, this could be 15 because it will not have any road values. It could be a 12 plus 3, or it could be a, so it can't have a 5 at all. So it can't be 10 and then go to 15. So this has to be either this is if this is there, then this has to be 12 plus 3. So I don't know. Let's see. Okay. Row 1 has 2 occupied houses in one in each block. Oh, so this is empty. This is vacant. And this is vacant for sure, and this is also vacant because this is 24 lakhs. So this is vacant, this is vacant, and I can calculate the value if I want to. Yeah, row 1, okay, 1 in each block, so one of them is vacant. Okay, okay, and both houses in column E are vacant. Oh, so both are vacant. So both are vacant, and I need to make this as this thing. So this and only one of them, okay, and this only one of these three can be occupied. So either this is occupied or this is occupied. One of them, only one is occupied. This or this, one of these is occupied, which means that this can have a maximum value of, so this if this has parking in it, this will become 15, and that's the lowest possible value. So both are vacant. So and those both kinds. So that means this is a value 15 definitely. So E1 is for 15. That means this has parking and this is 15. So E1 has 15 parking. Okay. Each of column D. Okay. So this is 15. So let's say this is 15. So I get this as 15, and I also get to know. So this is 15, and one of these is occupied. And what about E2? So E2 doesn't have parking. E2 doesn't have parking, and if so, that means E2 has at least one of these is occupied. At least one of these two is at least, so E2 has one person occupying it. It says road, so this value would be 18. So that means this is 18. So that means one of these two is definitely occupied. Okay, and I get that. Uh, So, so okay, so this is 15. So if F2 is occupied, if F2 is occupied, let's say F1 is vacant. So one of these is occupied, one of them is vacant. So let's say F1 is vacant. So F1 is vacant, E1 is definitely vacant. And let's say this is occupied. F2 is one has to be occupied. So the pricing of F1 would be 13. It will be 10 because this does parking has this thing. There's only one house with parking space in block YY, and we know E1 has that parking. So this will be 13. It can't be 13. This can't be 13 because the lowest price is 15 in YY. So then since this can't be 13, then that means this is not vacant. So this is occupied. If this is occupied, that means this has to be vacant because there's only one occupied. So if this is vacant and this is occupied. So I don't know about this. So because F1, F2, at least one is occupied and that is F1, so I don't know about this. So the pricing for this would be a minimum of 18 and a maximum of 21. So let's look at the questions. How many houses are vacant in block X? In block X, I have one vacant, two, and three. So I have three vacant. So the answer is three for this. Yeah. Okay. Let's look at the next question. The next question says, which of the following is definitely occupied? A1 is vacant. D2 is occupied. Which of the following is definitely occupied? So D2 is occupied. D2 is occupied. Hold on. B1 is also occupied. So okay, okay. So there are two answers here. Okay, okay. So something wrong in this question because B1 is also occupied because B2 we had the highest price of 24, then the other three had to be occupied, and D2 we found it to be occupied because D1 was vacant because F1 couldn't be vacant, so D2 is occupied. Yeah, because one of them had to be occupied. So there's something wrong with this. Okay, so both of them. So it could be either one of these. Okay, let's look at the next question. So okay. So let's look at the next question. Uh, which of the following best describes the vacant houses in row 2? Row 2, the vacant houses. Let's have a look. So I know B2 is 1, which is definitely vacant. E2 I know is vacant. F2 I'm not sure. So it could be 2 or 3. So the answer is 2 or 3. So the answer is 2 or 3. This is the right answer. Okay. Thank you. Let's look at the next question then. Okay, let's look at the next question. What is the maximum possible value quoted in rupees for a vacant house in column E? Column E, so E2 would be vacant. So if both of them, so E2 could have the maximum value. So I know 15 is the lowest, so it has to be more than that. So let's say this the parking doesn't have parking, so it has 10 plus 5, 15, and the other two are occupied, which means I know this is occupied. What if this is also occupied? So if these two are occupied, then the price will be 10 plus 5, 15 plus 3 make it 21. So this would be 21. Yeah, so the pricing should be 21. So that's the maximum possible value. Let's look at the next question. Which house in block YY has parking space? Oh, we know it. That's E1 because we solved it for finding while when we got that answer as 15. So the answer is E1. that concludes this set. Thank you very much.